it's centred around a group of people in an estate in Stratford in East London. Quite a small community, I suppose, and it's centred around a small group of people. In particular, a couple, basically a girl who's leaving her partner because he's a layabout lad not doing anything. She's leaving him at the beginning of the play, and he, throughout the play, then has to try and win her back through a series of sort of hijinks, I suppose, which end up causing a lot of very funny situations, really. Playing Keith, who is a wee guy from Glasgow who comes down, and he has been living here for a wee while. He's somebody who sits on the very, very edge of any social group. He can't get it right, you know. He's just a bit of an idiot, you know. He really tries to, you know. He's the kind of person who hasn't got any real mates. Certainly hasn't got a best mate, you know. And he just doesn't really fit. And every time he tries, he just gets it wrong, you know. So he's somebody who comes in. He comes into the story to buy some MDMA off one of the other characters. Ends up staying put. Ends up revealing, I suppose, quite a lot of the story to the audience in some ways, and goes on a bit of a journey with them, really. So it's a really interesting role. Quite a lot of it is spent essentially acting like I'm inebriated. I definitely like running. I like swimming a lot, and I like cycling. So I'm going to say I would like to be a marathon runner by the next Olympics professionally. There's a few of them. One of them was last year in Edinburgh, watching the Belarus Free Theatre, and there was a moment in the show that I saw, I can't remember the name of that, but I saw another one of theirs recently, where he'd been telling a story about how he was hounded out of town and how he was caught by the secret police and how he was then killed, and just all he did was, when he was telling the story, was pick up a chair in the middle of the stage and pull the chair back. That's all he did, theatrically, that's all he did, and said that. And the whole place just went and started crying, you know. Everybody in there was just weeping, and it was just such a small, you know, tiny movement that just represented so much. I'm feeling tingles thinking about it now. It was really, it's like, wow, and I don't know. You can go back and analyse how he did it, but it was just so clever and such pure storytelling for a reason that it was just, you know, really important to be giving information about this particular country that's so caught up in its really awful situation. Yeah. Oh God, there must be lots of awful things that happen in audition rooms. But on stage, I did like a little solo show. I kind of, you know, taught a little solo show that I'd written, and because it was my own writing, if you kind of mess up where you do things, you can kind of end up winging it and sort of changing it yourself, if that ever happens. And I've been doing this tour, and I think I did about 60 shows, and at about 30 shows, I was doing a speech out to the audience, and I stuttered by accident. I don't know where it came from. I just kind of, and I was like, I've never stuttered in my life before. But I stuttered in the speech, and then I thought, oh, right, well, I better kind of make this look like it's part of the show. So then throughout the rest of the speech, which was about a sort of 5-minute speech, I basically stuttered all the way through it, sort of thing. And then I ended up putting it in the show. It was quite nice, but at the time it was just really weird, because it really was like, where did this stuttering come from that I didn't really put it? And it kind of worked in the situation, really, but it was a very unexpected. London, Uncomfortable Truth, and Inside!